Hello, it's Maxine, Kaye, and Yoga from the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living, bringing you another love note today. Gosh, human consciousness, which is at its heart quite divine, is just discovering that divinity. We've been in our evolutionary process for millennia, and still we haven't gotten it yet. We're all waking up in our own way, in our own time, and I think it's time to take a grander look at things, a little larger picture. I know that we tend to still, in our evolutionary progress, still deal with this reptilian brain, the one that says fight or flight. You can see it in the streets of Manhattan and probably even downtown most anywhere, where people are honking and cursing at each other instead of just going with the flow. That's the fight. There are ways that people flee. We can run from a situation. And of course, if it's a burning building, we need to do that. The fight or flight reactions were instilled in us early on for good reason, to save our lives when we needed to run from the saber-toothed tigers or to do whatever needed to be done to protect the family or the clan, whatever. We don't need that anymore, but we still have it, And so sometimes somebody just gets into an altercation on a freeway, starts yelling or honking a horn and won't stop. And that just doesn't make sense. It's not for us to do that anymore. And sometimes we just run away, just leave. It's called doing a geographic, which means things aren't working out real well in this town, so I'm going to try another one. And of course, what happens is we're taking ourselves with us. So we're going to repeat, and we'll repeat, and until we finally start realizing that we are so much more than this reptilian brain. And sometimes the flight has to do with not moving physically, but going within, and not in a healthy way particularly, but just closing down. Instead of facing what needs to be faced, talking about it, dealing with it, moving through it, people sometimes just shut down. And I think that's sometimes part of the flight reaction. I don't even call it a response because it's a reaction. So what are we going to do when we go and take our bruised feelings inside, or our fear, because the fight or flight happens because we're afraid, and the anger almost always you'll find has at its core fear. So what do? We take that stuff inside and we fume about it, and we form resentments, and resentments are dangerous things, and we all have them. We really need to learn to deal with them. I had a friend years ago who used to say, well, when I get a resentment from someone, I just resend it to them. And I don't think that's the answer either. It's going to create more hard feelings. It's not going to win friends or influence people. And we do that sometimes, huh? Well, a resentment is really a poison inside of us. And so rather than flee when we're not handling something well and pretend that it's not happening, it'll all go away, let's just face it. If it needs to be talked about with another person, well, let's have the courage to sit down and talk about it. And not angrily, but lovingly and wisely. Of course, a lot of that can be done within ourselves by remembering that we're all at different states in our evolutionary progression. And it would be a very good thing for us to do our best, and it is not always easy, to do our best to shift from resentment and judgment to compassion, to doing our best to understand that people are doing the best they can at the place in their evolutionary process that they happen to be right now. And if we are relating with them in any way, whether it's for an hour train ride, or if it's a neighbor or a loved one, let's do our best to work within ourselves to shift those energies so that we ourselves are not coming from the place of the reactionary brain. We're so much more than that. We have so much greater capacity to invoke the presence of God's love in order to feel it within ourselves, in order to share it with others, in order to extend ourselves to others rather than retreat from them. So let's do the best we can to remember who we are and to remember who other people are. Let's give ourselves and each other a little bit of a break. And let's stop resenting and judging ourselves as well. It's a good idea just to remember that going within can be done in a very healthy way. Not running from, not the flight to light, but coming into our true, authentic self, where we understand that God abides fully within each of us, and that each one of us has the ability to stand up, to grow up, to be more of who we truly, truly came here to be. We can do it. It's not always easy, but let's do it anyway. Okay? What if we all remembered at one point or another that there is a great, loving, wise, and wonderful presence within us all? That there is a beautiful power we can use that shifts the energy from negativity to positivity, productivity, and change the resentments to appreciations. Imagine that. It can be done. Even if it's just a little at a time. Let's take one thing, one person, one situation, one condition, and begin to be willing to see it differently and bring our better selves to it. Okay? I think that's a great idea. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Thanks for tuning in with us. We love finding ways to be with you. We love you. We're grateful to have you in our lives, and we are grateful that you tune in whenever you can. You can go to cslphilly.org, our website, beautiful website. Take a look at it. Just cruise through it sometime. Take a tour. And you can go there on a Sunday morning at 10:30. Click on the live link and you'll be with us from our live streaming. So long as we are not together again physically, we will continue the live stream and probably beyond that too. It's a great way to reach a lot of people. And even if it's not Sunday morning at 10:30 Eastern Time, you certainly can click on that same link at any time. You'll see previous love notes that Reverend Mike and I have done, usually with yoga. You'll also see archived Sunday morning live streams. So be with us if you can this Sunday. It'll be great to have you. You'll have an opportunity to look through and see what other classes and events are taking place. We have not been idle during this year, have we? We continue to offer you all the beautiful ways that we can dream up, to stay connected, to lift hearts and minds, to do our job, which is to teach and to practice the principles of science of mind, to lift the collective unconscious, to make us all more conscious on our evolutionary process. We also are very grateful to all of you who've been sending contributions, so many ways to do that, and they're all right there on the website so you can see how to keep this work alive and well. We love you. We're here for you. Thanks for being with us. Yoga says bye for now.